I think we can directly move on to the presentation of Task Force 3.
As you may note, we've changed the logo for our group slightly on the slide. The tightrope walker was indicative of risk, Maresi said. We've put a safety net under the tightrope walker. Our group has spent a lot of time discussing risk in the context of doctoral education, and we've concluded, to the effect that we have any conclusion yet, that there are a lot of unresolved tensions and perspectives on this topic, and indeed on the definition of that term. We've decided to illustrate some of these with a slightly risky theatrical performance. We'll have 3 vignettes. As you see the vignettes, think about the issues and perspectives that each of them bring up. There are many important moments in the career of a graduate student at which opportunities for innovation and risk present themselves. The first is the moment of admission, where departments and universities try to choose students who will complete in a timely manner and do something really interesting. But programs tend to be risk-averse. Our first vignette deals with a graduate student named Susie Safe. Susie Safe applied to a U.S. university in organizational behavior in the business school. She had high grades and high scores on standardized tests, and the department was thrilled to accept her.
Okay, I guess I'll have to set aside these revisions on my new chapter on risk for the Forces and Forms volume. Well, what's your big idea?
Well, I'm really interested in the impact of family caregiving on children's health outcomes. It's hardly been studied, but we know that informal care provided in families is one of the main sources in first-line health care.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the workplace, which is what you came here to study.
That's not true. I want to look at the particular impact of workplace family leave policies. I've already talked to Professor Edge in public health, and she's eager to work out a way to have interdisciplinary supervision of this project. She can even help with funding.
Well, why don't you just study family leave in the workplaces? Why do you have to muddy things up with health outcomes?
Well, because I don't want to continue the myth of the separation of work and family, and that's wrong in both theory and practice.
Well, Professor Edge is an interesting researcher with money. But this will be a very challenging project. You're going to have to master a whole new set of methods, new literature, new jargon. And if I know Professor Edge, you'll have to do field work. How are you going to do that with a baby? And you're going to want to think about how you'll find a job with a business PhD on a public health topic.
In the second vignette, we're dealing with a doctoral student in South Africa. The International Funding Agency has provided a black student, Gugu Krela, with research funds for doctoral education. The name Gugu Krela means a boasting smart person. The condition is that the student must register at a university in his home country and conduct research on one of the funding agency's strategic focus areas. The selected research area looks very innovative from the student's perspective and suggests that when the research is completed, the student might gain international recognition. Now we turn to Gugu Krela in the department tea room where he talks to a potential supervisor. This faculty member is from an indigenous community.
Hello, Prof.
Hi, Gugu.
I have some great news.
Really? What's up, man?
I've been given money from Margaret Thatcher's agency to do research on a comparative analysis of sustainable livelihoods during the pre- and post-British rule in South Africa.
Sure. My gosh.
It's exciting, isn't it?
His project. it is not a research project for doctoral education in South Africa. It seems to be one of those recolonization projects of the British government. Gugu, you going forward with this project, it's like you'll be assisting the British government to check whether our people are still benefiting from the services by this new government or are unhappy and prefer going back to Pharaoh under their rule. Think about it.
Hiya, bull, Prof.
Gugu, imagine if the government knows about this. You will bring our university into disrepute, as it will be seen as a special vehicle for the imperialist. We won't even get funded, Gugu.
I'm no British toady. I won this prestigious scholarship, which means if I do this project, I'll have international recognition. It could make my job of getting a job so much easier, and then I'll be world-renowned in no time.
Gugu, think about my name as a supervisor. It will be tarnished. Think about your family, the Edegeles. They will be involved in this imperial spying thing. And you won't get job in South Africa. You know what? Perhaps it would be better if you change the topic. Can you negotiate with your funder? Maybe do something on the pre-colonial era. I know. I've got a friend of mine in Germany and Washington, D.C., Manesi. What about doing a project that focuses on the forces and forms of change in the democratic era?
Oh, Prof, this sounds so sad. Why must I think of others?
Think about it.
It's so sad. I see it might be too risky after all.
Our third vignette deals with an Australian student working in an academic industry partnership. A potentially innovative kind of project is the University Industry Partnership. In this last vignette, we see a student marked cross in the middle here in an Australian cooperative research centre, which facilitates joint research among industry, universities, and government organizations. The student has just finished presenting his thesis findings to the academic advisor, Professor Borders here, and his industry associate supervisor, Mr. Prophet.
I'm so thrilled my research is almost done. I think it will really be useful. Aren't you glad you were able to convince your director to let you work with the CRC?
Oh yes, this is absolutely great. And we can easily patent that, I think. And I see already several commercial opportunities out of that.
Yes, it's just really exciting to be at this point. I'm so proud of you, Renato. You've done so very well. And I can see publications in the world's most prestigious journal.
Oh, do you think so? Lancet, Nature, maybe Science? Super!
What? Oh, no. If you publish this will ruin our commercial advantage. No way.
What?